welcome back to University Bedford, your one-stop shop for everything Universal Studios coming to the UK. And welcome back to our deep dive series into the planning documents. We have wrapped up chapter 1. Now we're into chapter 2. So today we're going to be looking at chapter 2 and document 2.1.0. It's a hefty 9-page document, but there's some juicy bits in there which you're not going to want to miss. If this is your thing and you're interested about Universal Studios coming to the UK, then obviously you're going to want to subscribe. We have construction updates, we have these deep dive videos, and we have on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. University Bedford Live. Great fun. You're not going to want to miss it. So before we go too deep down the rabbit hole, let's just jump straight into the documentation. So here we are. Here we are, report reference 2.1.0. This is chapter 1 of the environmental statement, volume 1, and it's the introduction and site description. So here we have a bit of a contents. We've got background, we've got legal framework, we've got the scope of the EIA, which is the environmental impact assessment, the structure of the environmental statement, the competent expertise and the project team, access to documents, description of the site, and references. Okay, right, blank page. Oof. We're already on page 5. Amazing. Right, okay. 1.1. This chapter has been prepared in support of the planning proposal for the construction and operation of an entertainment resort complex and associated development. Full description of the proposed development is set out in chapter 2. Description of the proposed development, volume 1. We've covered that off already. Okay, the legal framework. So it says that the proposed development is not covered by the bespoke provisions in respect to other types of orders at Part 7 of the Town and Country Planning, Environment Impact Assessment Regulations 2017, the EIA Regulations, reference 1.1. This environmental statement has been prepared on the basis of compliance with the requirements of the EIA regulations relating to carrying out an EIA. EIA has the meaning given by Regulation 4 of the EIA regulations. I love legal talk. It's so enlightening. But essentially what that's saying is this isn't a standard planning application, and this environmental impact assessment is a result of that. Okay, so let's have a look at the scope of the EIA. A formal EIA scoping process has not been undertaken in support of the preparation of this environmental statement. However, each environmental topic has undertaken specific environmental technical assessments in line with best practice guidance, ongoing consultation with MHCLG, formerly the Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities, and statutory bodies, and using professional judgment. A review of consultation comments received by statutory bodies to date and how they have informed the EIA process is presented in each technical chapter of this environmental statement. So here we have the structure, we have the main text, volume 1, we have figures in volume 2, we have technical appendices in volume 3, and a non-technical summary, which will probably be one of the most interesting bits, in volume 4. So subscribe, you want to be here for that. Now, we have the competent expertise and project team. Okay, so basically this is saying we're getting all of the relevant and competent people involved so that this statement is fully comprehensive, and you can't, you can't question whether the right people have been involved. So in terms of team members, we've got Universal Destinations and Experiences in the role of Design, Energy and Sustainability. We have DWD as a planning consultant, and WSP, whose paper This is, we're on their letter-headed paper right here. EIA coordination, ecology and nature conservation, landscape and visual impact assessment, air quality, noise and vibration, cultural heritage, ground conditions, soil and agricultural land. Water resources, greenhouse gases, climate resilience, major accidents and disasters, energy, sustainability and utilities. Also, Volterra on socio-economics, population and human health, and vectos or vectos for traffic and transport. That is a conversation topic. That's quite engaging at the moment. Lots of people talking about the traffic. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So obviously, all of the information is going to be in here. As previously referred to, the site is divided into 4 main district zones, as we looked at in the zonal plan. The core zone, 96.7 hectares, the lake zone, 1.2 hectares, the west gateway zone, 42.8 hectares, and the east gateway zone, 27.6 hectares. The site is wholly located within the Bedford Borough Council Local Planning Authority area and is broadly defined on all 4 sides by existing road and rail infrastructure. We have seen this before. The A421 passes from northeast to southwest along the western side of the site, with local access provided by Woburn Road running in parallel along the A421's eastern edge. Ampthill Road runs from north to south on the eastern edge of the site. Broadmead Road connects from Woburn Road, running west to east along the southern edge of the site. Now we have reference here to the Marston Vale Railway line, soon to be East West Rail. We also have reference to Elstow Brook, which is a tributary to the Great River Ouse, which is the big river that flows through Bedford. And it follows the line of the Marston Vale Railway along the western boundary of the lake zone, then diverges slightly to cross through the West Gateway zone. Existing water bodies bound the site to the northeast and southeast, while warehouse units bound the site to the northwest. We've seen those just on the A421. The site is primarily surrounded by agricultural land and open fields to the west and south. The site is situated in a semi-rural location, split by Manor Road, which connects the village of Kempston Hardwick to Manor Road on the west and Ampthill Road to the east. So here we've got some details of some of the existing businesses that are there. The lake zone also comprises an area of unused hard standing, which is concrete slab, the pad, which was associated with the former Kempston Hardwick brickworks, along with stockpiles of former demolition waste. The previous clay excavation pits are now either filled in or flooded in semi-permanent water bodies. The lake zone also includes areas of grass scrub and arable farmland used to grow crops. The core zone, which is where the theme park, hotel, city walk will be, located to the south of Manor Road, comprises primarily arable fields, hedgerows and drainage ditches. Here's an interesting one. Public rights of way, public footpaths. 4 public rights of way across the site and are shown in one of the maps that we looked at in an earlier video. One links the eastern end of Manor Road to Woburn Road, crossing the core zone and the Marston Vale Railway line at a footpath level, crossing near the centre of the core zone. A second public right-of-way runs from north to south through the core zone and across the other public right-of-way from Manor Road to Broadmead Road. The third and fourth public right-of-ways skirt the northeastern boundary of the lake zone, following along field edges from Ampthill Road, meeting the field's edge to cross under the A421 adjacent to the Marston Vale Railway line. And that is that summary. Okay, fair enough. Let's go to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a description of the proposed development. Description. A description of a description. Gotta love these technical documents. Okay, all right, let's scoot down. Blank page. So here we go. We've got the introduction, we've got development parameters, we've got access, utility provision, and railworks required to support the proposed development, supporting design strategies, approach to sustainable development, materials, construction proposals, and health and safety. Right, we've got a lot, and we've got some tables here as well. And let's have a look. Oh my goodness, we've got a lot of pages. So we're going to extract the value for you guys right now. Okay. So, introduction. Fine, we've understood that. We understand what the proposed development is. Okay, high level overview. The theme park will only be located within the core zone. Okay, interesting. Core zone only for the theme park. Okay. The core zone, West Gateway Zone and Lake Zone will provide flexible range of complementary entertainment retail complex uses such as retail, dining and entertainment, visitor accommodation, and associated services for any operational or administrative functions of the ERC, such as office buildings and warehouse storage facilities. Okay, interesting. All right. So, core zone just for the theme park, but they're reserving the right to do other things which could be public accessible in the other zones. The lake zone also provides for the utility compound and certain ERC uses that are only permitted in the lake zone, such as the conference centre and or convention centre, sports complex with indoor or outdoor playing fields, camping and caravanning accommodation, and the ecological enhancement area around the lakes. East Gateway Zone provides an expanded Wixham railway station along with works associated with the Manor Rail level crossing, supporting uses and transportation hubs, and the West Gateway Zone also includes a highway service area. So, if you're looking to top up your car before you leave, they've got it covered. Right. Given the nature of the proposed development, flexibility is required in the consent to allow for the site to evolve and expand over time. This is interesting and exciting. Theme park growth and evolution in the core zone to accommodate increasing visitors and new creative areas and technology improvements to ensure that the theme park is consistently offering innovative, thrilling, and popular entertainment experiences and build out of non-theme park ERC elements, predominantly within the Lake Zone and West Gateway Zone, where visitor accommodation, retail, dining, and entertainment venues will be developed and redeveloped over time. Flexibility is also required for the rail elements within the East Gateway Zone, the design of which are still evolving. Yes, because that's the Wixham's train station. What is really interesting here, though, is that the City Walk location, which we've always assumed would be within the core zone, will also extend into the Lake Zone and the East Gateway Zone. Okay? No, the West Gateway Zone. Forgive me. The West Gateway Zone. Right. But maybe into the East. Who knows? Right, the primary phase. The primary phase of the ERC designed to accommodate 8.5 million annual visitors and 55,000 visitors on a peak day, consisting of a destination, meaning international, as opposed to regional or local theme park, of at least 32.37 hectares inside, excluding guest parking, with emphasis on highly immersive storytelling and theming with international draw, focusing on providing a first-class guest experience. Yes. Dining and entertainment venues available to ticketed and non-ticketed visitors to the ERC. Yes. 500 hotel rooms. Yes. Administrative functions and operational staff. Yep. Over 7,000 car parking spaces, 100 coach parking spaces, and 250 bicycle spaces. Very good. Access roads, green infrastructure, including environmental enhancement areas to be provided at a combined minimum of 49.3 hectares, and landscaping. Very nice. It's going to be beautiful. Active travel routes throughout the site, which will facilitate connections from the ERC to the surrounding active travel network. Great. Okay. Associated infrastructure, including utility infrastructure, utility generation, storage, collection, treatment, and processing facilities. All of the grubby stuff. New A421 junction and dual carriageway access into the core zone. A realigned and upgraded manor road to a dual carriageway access road between Ampthill Road and the Marston Vale railway line. Public Road A, Public Road B, segment 1, we've seen the map. An expanded 4-platform Wixham's railway station and shuttle bus service between Wixham's and the theme park. The primary phase may consist of non-theme park elements such as visitor accommodation and retail, dining, entertainment venues, and associated car parking for that in the West Gateway Zone and or Lake Zone, so long as the peak hour traffic counts do not exceed what has been assessed in the transport assessment and travel plan. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to review that one. The full build out consists of construction that was not completed. Okay, completing in 2051. So they've got a plan for the next 25 years. Cool. All right. Now we do have a lot of information here about the theme park. So we've covered a lot of this before, so I'm going to skip over a bit. But let's look at this bit because this is about live entertainment. This is hosted both within the resort and by the theme park entrance as part of the themed retail, dining and entertainment area known as Entry Plaza. Maybe not City Walk, maybe something else. This restricted access area is outside of the ticketed theme park gate but requires visitors to pass a security screening before entry. Makes sense. It is aimed at encouraging visitors to extend their visit by arriving earlier than the park's opening time or staying longer after the theme park's closing time. Whilst these uses are designed primarily for theme park guests, they can be used by the general public. Win. So if you're a local, your luck's in. Great. Okay, unified control. Basically, Universal are going to control it all. Brilliant. Development parameters. This whole section is about giving Universal a little bit of wiggle room so they can shift things around a little bit if it suits the plans better. Okay, we know that the East-West Rail development is yet to be finalised, as is the design for Wixham's railway station. So they have to have a little bit of wiggle room built in. This is that. Maximum height. This is a bit that people have been loving to dig into. Right. Now, just so you know, we have some acronyms here. We have AGL, height. AGL, height. What is AGL? Okay. Above ground level. Right. Okay. Then we have AOD. So that's normally, typically, above sea level. This is where a lot of confusion has come in. So the ERC, unless otherwise defined by below, which we will get to, has above ground level at 75 metres. Associated services for operational and administrative functions at 25 metres. Utility compound at 20 metres. Rail related development other than transport hubs at 22. Transport hubs at 30 metres. Surface car park at 10 metres. But we see here some more specification about where that is above sea level. Now, these just reflect the baseline above sea level. Okay, so that these are reflective of this. They're not conflicting with it, they're the same number. Multi-story up to 30 metres, roadway other than the slip road 15 metres, the ecological enhancement area 10 metres, and the slip road 25 metres. So that is the elevated slip. Okay, now Now we go into the design standards. Okay, so the ERC expansion areas have a maximum AGL of 10 meters and the EEA of 10 meters. Right, okay, so again, nothing particularly groundbreaking there. Within 20 meters of the boundary, 10 meters. Within 20 meters of both boundary, still 10 meters. 20 meters about 10 meters. 30 meters boundary is 10 meters. 20 meters of boundary, 10 meters. 100 meters from the southernmost edge of the ERC, 10 meters. So it's just covering stuff off again. Okay, attraction overlay zone limit for deviation is plus 40 meters in height. So there we go. All right. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room built in there. And we do have some in there. Daylight study was undertaken on dwellings of Manor Road and Broadmead Road. Daylight study was conducted to inform the proposed offsets of tall buildings and structures, and effectively these plans take that into consideration. The proposed development will achieve an articulated skyline by implementing the following key design principles: variety in building and structure heights, differentiating building heights as defined below, urban design and architectural features with diverse architectural elements, context sensitivity, ensuring the skyline design responds to the surrounding context, including topography. Fine. Maximum height structures. Uninhabitable portions of structure with maximum height over 75 meters up to 115 meters. All of these things, it's very messy to know where to get your actual details. But there we get the 115 meters, 115 meters for the first time. Okay, lots of technical stuff here. Articulated skyline calculations, basically where in square meters we're going to see high stuff, mostly in the core zone, some of the lake zone, less in the west gateway zone, and even less in the east gateway zone. Fine. Okay. The A421 junction access roads. Okay, we're going to find out some more about that in a future document, but we did also see the map previously. Vehicular. So if you're coming by road, you will get in by the A421. If you're heading north or east, according to this, you will use the existing Woburn Road and Marsh Lees interchange with the A421. I'm familiar with it. Okay. Right. These are the different options about the Manor Road level crossing, which is yet to be decided. Rail, Wixham station's getting expanded. Very nice. There'll be a plaza out the front as well. And there could be an EWR, East West Rail station, on the Marston Vale Railway line between the East Gateway and Court zones. Again, we've seen that on the map. Public rights of way, we know that will be nixed. We won't be having that anymore. We'll be going into the utility statement a little bit later. In terms of electricity, it's going to need 37 MVA, mega volt. What is an MVA? Electricity. Let's find out, shall we, in real time. Megavolt amperes. Okay, that sounds like a lot. Yeah, sounds like it's a bit more than my my little house uses. We'll be using some gas as well, so the gas supply, we'll need some water supply. Telecommunications will be by OpenReach, makes sense. But also Virgin Media too. So it looks like they are tendering on that, or maybe they've got one just, oh, MBNL as well. So it looks like we might have a situation here where they might have contingency but built in, maybe OpenReach and another supplier. Makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, supporting design strategies, landscape, they're going to make it look beautiful. Yes, drainage, we do have problems with flooding in the area. Looks like we're going to be having lots of controlled runoff and stuff like that. The ecology statement, protect and enhance existing vegetation and landscapes and habitats with some new habitats too. So if you're worried about the animals, and I think we all are, the animals and the wildlife and the nature, this is a big part of it. Creation of new woodland and perimeter planting, planting of native hedgerows, lots of stuff here. Fantastic. Okay, the site lighting will be consistent with delivering a well-designed, high-quality new urban environment that's mindful of light spill and light-sensitive fauna and flora, and it will be consistent with the design standards document 6.3.0. We'll be getting to that, as we will with the sustainability statement, but they are going for LEED gold certification, which is, I believe, the highest level. Okay, materials, high quality, construction phasing. During the primary phase, in addition to delivery of certain components into the lake zone, such as the utility compound and ecological enhancement area, the lake zone will be utilised for temporary construction activities, including material sortings and storage, temporary laydown areas, and car parking. It may also be used for temporary worker accommodation if required. The primary phase will require the demolition of Vine Cottages 1 and 2 and their respective outbuildings, as well as the derelict building currently located within the lake zone. We've seen lots of video footage of that derelict building. Construction will take place between 7 and 7 Monday to Friday and 7 and 1 on Saturday, as we have reported before. But there won't be any work on Sundays, bank holidays, or public holidays. The first hour of working is to consist of mobilisation works to include, but not be limited to, deliveries, movement of place of work, unloading, maintenance, and general preparation works. Fine. Here's the construction phase. Advanced works, enabling works, and infrastructure works. Q4 2025. That's this year! With cranes, fewer than 10, excavators, fewer than 100, dozers, fewer than 100, graders, fewer than 100, small equipment, fewer than 500, dump trucks, fewer than 100, concrete batch plant, set up for use in less than 25% of the duration, HGV deliveries of fewer than 500 per day. And when it comes to property infrastructure, which will run from Q4 2027 through to Q2 2030, which is probably when they're looking to wrap construction and move into the fine tuning and the detail. Similar numbers, but fewer HGV deliveries. So we could see action in less than 2 months' time. Roadway works to commence probably Q3 of next year, 26, through to Q2 2030. Quite a few cranes there. Railway works to be confirmed. Theme park construction, the bit that we're all frothing about, will be Q3 2027 to Q4 2030. Interesting. Fewer than 50 cranes. Fewer than 250 excavators and fewer than 100 dozers. Graders and compactors, small equipment, off-road dump trucks. Concrete batch plant will be used for the entire duration and HGV deliveries will be fewer than 500 a day. Fit out and installation will take place from Q3 2029 to Q4 2030. Wow, we've got quite a lot here going on. And during the same period, we got the ride installation and show installation. Wow, there's a lot there. This is some really juicy bits that we've got here. We actually now know what their proposed construction timetable is, which I was not expecting to get in this document. Okay, let's keep going. HGV routes will follow strategic road network. Okay, Broadmead Road, Ampthill Road, yes. Fine. Right. Once the A421 junction is complete, all construction traffic for the core zone and West Gateway Zone will use this route via the A421. But it looks like very few are being diverted through some of the local villages, which was obviously a concern that people had. This is the employment headcount during construction. We're still in archaeological investigation right here. Earthworks and grading to kick off in 2026. Back a house, 2027. Construction support, land trades, including contingency in here. Supporting infrastructure, construction support. And we will start to see hotel staff coming in here from 2028. Very interesting. Lots of references there to some documentation. So, wow, we've actually seen some pretty cool stuff there, including the construction timetable. What do you think? Do you think we're still on track? What bit are you looking forward to most? Is it seeing the cranes? Is it seeing the track arrive for some of those incredible roller coasters? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again very, very soon.